चलिए आज हम द हिंदू का एडिटोरियल रीड करेंगे कि कैसे हम रीड करके अपनी रीडिंग स्किल्स को बढ़ा सकते हैं। फर्स्ट इसका एडिटोरियल है 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन मिसेस एंड कंसर्न्स। The 16th Finance Commission had significant flexibility in determining its approach and methodology, as its terms of reference followed directly from constitutional provisions, unlike earlier commissions that operated under detailed central directives. This commission, as before, addressed the two key dimensions of fiscal transforms, namely the vertical and the horizontal. The vertical dimension. What is vertical dimension? The Commission took note of the increase in the share of states in the divisible pool of central taxes from 32% to 42% by the 14th Finance Commission. The 14th Finance Commission had justified it on account of discontinuation of state plan grants amounting to only 3% of the divisible pool of central taxes at the time of transition. The subsequent reduction to 40% was due to change in the status of Jammu and Kashmir, and the 16th Finance Commission noted the center's concern about the reduction in its fiscal space. The center had responded to substantial increase in the share of state by the 14th Finance Commission by first increasing the non-shareable cesses and charges, second reducing its share in the financing of centrally sponsored schemes, and third, not accepting sector-specific, state-specific grants recommended by the 15th Finance Commission. In the end, however, the 16th Finance Commission retained the state share at 41%, imparting to it a kind of semi-performance. The 16th Finance Commission makes no recommendations regarding the non-shareable cesses and charges, which by their very nature should be limited and levied for finite periods. These should be earmarked for specific purposes and not merged with the center's general funds. Instead, 16th Finance Commission recommended a grant bargain, paragraph 7.61, between center and states, saying that states would agree to a smaller share in the resulting large divisible pool with no loss of revenue to either side, provided the center agreed to merge a large part of the cesses and charges in the regular taxes. The Commission did not take into account its constitutional duty as as enumerated in Articles 270 and 280 for objectively determining the share of state in the shareable pool of central taxes while making its observation on the cesses and charges would have been better had the the commission at least pointed out to the center that the steep increase in cesses and charges surcharges was was not warranted and not in the spirit of the Constitution. Further, the Commission chose to discontinue the revenue deficit grants and did not recommend any state and sector specific grants. This became a route to lower the share of states in the center's revenue receipts as compared to the 15th Finance Commission. The average effective transfer covering tax, devaluation, and finance commission grants to the states as a percentage of the of the center's pre-transfer gross revenue receipts were 27.0% to 27.2% and 28.3% respectively during the Finance Commission periods 11, 12, 13. This share increased sharply to 35 35.6% during the 14th Finance Commission period. In the 15th Finance Commission period, covering the years 2020 to 21, 24 to 25, this share came down marginally to 34.4%, still considerably higher than those of the 11th, 11th and 13th Finance Commission periods. This steep increase in resources transfer as a promotion of gross revenue receipts of the center should not be overlooked. Looking at the first year of 16th Finance Commission's award period 2026 to 27. This ratio is 32.7% as per the center's budget estimates. This 16 Finance Commission's projection for later years may prove to be overestimated since the 2026 to 27 nominal GDP growth assumed at 11% is higher than the budget estimate of 10%. The Commission also did not factor in the revenue reducing effect of the major goods and services tax reforms undertaken in September 2025. While the Commission was still in session. हॉरिजॉन्टल हॉरिजॉन्टल डायमेंशन के बारे में पढ़ते हैं. What is horizontal dimension? The 16th Finance Commission introduced a new criterion of contribution to reflect an efficiency consideration, but it measured it through the share of a state's gross state domestic product GSDP in all state GSDP. There is a need, however, to differentiate the efficiency of the production system from that of the physical system. In the production system, the interstate distribution of GSDP depends on many factors, which includes the interstate movement of financial and human resources. It largely depends on market forces, which tends to lead to a concentration of productive capital stock in a limited number of states. Human resources also move from less developed to the more developed states. This change involved using GSDP in two opposite ways. In the income distance formula, the lower the per capita GSDP of a state, the higher the per capita share of that state in the contribution criterion. The higher the per capita GSDP of a state, the higher is its share. However, the Commission did not finally use the GSDP. Instead, it used its square root. This was meant to reduce the excessive effects of using GSDP to reflect contribution on some states. In the devaluation formula, The weights of some of the other criteria have also been changed. There are purely judgmental, dropping the tax effort, a fiscal discipline criterion, which was a fiscal efficiency criterion, is not consistent with the Commission's own narrative. What is losses and gains? Let's read about it. Consequently, the mean states that have lost account of the 16th Finance Commission devaluation scheme as compared to the 15th Finance Commission are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Bihar, Odisha. Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. The other group of losing states are Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, Sikkim, and Goa. The northeast are extremely small states. The gain by the other richer states has not been uniform. Ideally, the losses of some states could have been mitigated through normatively determined revenue gap grants. Devolution is not enough to capture the finer details of cost and need differential of India's highly differentiated states. Further, if a finance commission changes the tax devolution formula, then the consequential loss of some of the states could be neutralized by the revenue gap grants. In fact, Article 275 provides an important mode of fiscal transfers for the consideration of state specific needs. It should not be confused with revenue deficits. Need can be estimated in order to equalize standards of critical services such as health, education. This would have facilitated accommodating the performance argument of the richer state while still promoting the equalization objectives, even if there are difficulties in estimating revenue gap grants since it involves normative assessment of states' needs and resources. The 16th Finance Commission need not have taken the shortcut of dropping these altogether. While ad hoc state specific grants are not appropriate, equalization grants still have a place. थैंक यू ये द हिंदू का एडिटोरियल रीड करने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच।